Hey, I'm Heather and welcome back to my channel. I am a certified life coach who works with busy mamas who want to grow their business and their big dreams with more heart and less hustle. And today I want to tell you all about an experiment I did where I decided for 1 week I was only going to do exactly what I wanted to do and why it was so uncomfortable and what I discovered as a result of it. What I see in myself and so many of my clients is that we massively underestimate how important our wants are. Many of us would rather say what we need than say what we want. There's this underlying belief that I've had and many of my clients have that what we need is important and we should invest time, money, and energy to create it. But what we want is less important and even selfish to spend time, money, and energy to create. And there's even a layer of this for some of us where we believe that God cares about what we need, but He doesn't really care about what we want. And the reason I want to talk about this is because what I've discovered in my life is that when I follow what I really want, not just the surface level want, but the greater want, which we're going to talk about, I actually create an even more expansive, loving, beautiful life for myself, for my family, and for my community. We are only scratching the surface on this topic, and if you're interested in hearing more, you need to come check out Life Launch in August because we're going to be diving deep into your wants and your desires, how to understand the difference between needs and wants, how to understand what you really want, not just what you want in the moment, and so many more tools that are going to help you live a more abundant, present, impactful life. So I want to tell you about an experiment that I did a couple of months ago where for 1 whole week I decided I was only going to do exactly what I wanted to do. Not what I should do, not what I needed to do, but what I wanted to do. And my biggest fear in this was that it would be completely selfish, that I wouldn't want to parent my kids, that all I'd want to do is eat ice cream and watch Netflix. But I was surprised to find that within the very first day of only doing what I really wanted, I had gone on a bike ride with my 2 oldest kids, and I had gone for a walk and a play at the park with my youngest. Lo and behold, I actually do want to parent my children. But when we tell ourselves, I need to take care of my kids, rather than saying, I want to take care of my kids, it takes away our choice in the matter. And when we feel like we don't have a choice, we show up in a much less powerful way. We show up as victims to our own lives. When we say, I have to take care of my kids, I should take care of my kids, I need to take care of my kids, how does that actually make us feel? It makes us feel like we are out of control. We are powerless. This is just the life that's been externally created for us. We're the ones that created it. But when we speak this way, what we're saying is all of this kind of happened to me and now I just have to make it work. So when we stop and realize that we actually get a choice, we get to decide whether or not we're going to parent our kids every day. We have the option. We could get in our car tomorrow and drive away and never come back. Now, there would be all sorts of results that would come from that, but we do have the choice. And when we remind ourselves that we have the choice, then we get to decide what we really want to do. There's 2 different kinds of wants, okay? There's the want of our primitive brain, and then there's the want of our prefrontal cortex. Our primitive brain only wants 3 things. It wants to avoid pain, seek pleasure, and be as efficient as possible. So if we just listen to our primitive brain, it's gonna for sure have us not parenting our kids and eating ice cream. Because our primitive brain doesn't want to change. It doesn't want to do anything new. It doesn't want to have to expend more energy to do things that are uncomfortable. But then we have this other beautiful part of our brain called our prefrontal cortex. And that part of our brain can actually think about our wants in the bigger picture, in the long term, not just in the moment. That's the part of your brain that I want you to start tapping into. It's the part of your brain that when you sit down and you write out what you really want, and that might be a great assignment for you to do, is to write out a list of 100 things that you want, not just material things, but how do you want to feel? How do you want your life to look? How do you want your relationships to look? And when you sit down and write about that and you write about the future that you want to create, you're activating your prefrontal cortex. So it's not just thinking about what you want in the moment, it's thinking about the life that you want to create. Now, the reason that I talk about these two levels of wants is because when you do a week of like, okay, I'm only gonna do what I actually wanna do, you wanna make sure that it's not just your primitive brain that's making all of the decisions. For example, you sit down in the evening after the kids have gone to bed and you ask yourself, what do I really want to do right now? What do I really want for me? What do I really want to eat right now? My primitive brain is like, you want to eat ice cream. But when I'm aware, my prefrontal cortex is able to chime in and go, what's the greater want here? Maybe there's a part of you that in the moment wants to eat ice cream, but what's the greater want? The greater want is I want to be healthy and strong and fit and able to keep up with my kids and able to live a long, active life. So that part of my brain actually wants to eat yogurt and granola and fruit. This is why it really matters that we check in with and own what we really want. I hope what you hear from this conversation today is that what you want matters, and it's not selfish to identify what you really want and to go after it. I bet what you'll find when you do that is that you're able to take massive action and create incredible change in your personal life, but also in your family, in your business, and in your community. If you're intrigued by this topic, come and check out Life Launch in August. We're gonna talk all about how to understand what your greater wants are and how to go after them and create a life of your dreams. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share it with a friend, and we will see you next week.